pretty good episode overall. For one thing that makes this episode really nice is it's only Spock, Uhura, and Sulu for the whole episode. We don't see the Enterprise itself. We just see these three people. I don't think there's any original series episode that only took place on a shuttle or an away mission like this. So that's an interesting setup in and of itself. Spock, Uhura, and Sulu, like I say, are on a shuttle, and they have found a stasis box. And they describe what the history of stasis boxes are. Stasis boxes are special technology that freezes time inside them until you open it up, and they're the only remnants from the Slavers, an unknown race that used to dominate the entire galaxy a billion years ago. I question how this kind of history even exists, but still. So it's basically just like the Celts finding ancient Roman architecture and things like that. Same idea. A stasis box is the only way you can find another stasis box, which I also like this little point that Sulu brings up.
If it takes a stasis box to find another stasis box, how did anyone ever find the first one?
As with a number of discoveries, purely by accident, Lieutenant.
I'm glad that you thought about that, because that's actually logical. And Spock is really good at logic in this episode. So, they actually locate a nearby stasis box. Spock is so excited he doesn't even think about the fact that this is an odd coincidence they happen to find one right here. And they follow it, and lo and behold,
it's a trap!
By the Kzinti, a race that we've never seen before, and if memory serves, I think we'll be seeing it again a lot more often. I could be wrong on that. I really don't remember, but...
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong.
We haven't seen them before today, at least.
As far as I know, they're exclusive to the animated series.
Yeah, they are exclusive to the animated series, if they appear again at all. The Kzinti have been fighting humanity since the 21st century, so there's some extra history we've thrown in there. And have basically been, much like after World War I with Germany, have been stripped of all their weaponry, so of course these have illegal weapons, and have basically used the crew to locate and activate and open up another box. Because the first box, the one that they allowed to fall into Spock's hands, was empty. The box itself was still good as a locator, but the box was empty. They find another box and open it, and they find a picture of a slaver, some meat that's a billion years old but still fresh, and the slaver weapon. What's interesting about this weapon is it has multiple settings, and it changes shape based on the setting. And with each shape change is also a function change. So they try out a few and they do different things. Only one of them is a weapon, and that weapon is actually less effective than their standard hand phasers. So they realize this thing that's supposed to be like, we can dominate the galaxy with this weapon, doesn't seem that impressive. While accidentally testing out the rocket attachment for this weapon, they accidentally knocked Uhura off the police web, which was the thing keeping them immobilized, and she runs
What the heck kind of run cycle is that?
She will claim later that she used to actually be a record-setting runner.
She looks like she's trying to do some kind of weird Irish jig. Look at this. Sulu runs normally. Why'd they animate her like that? Because she's a girl?
Uhura, gold medalist in the holding two heavy suitcases Olympics.
She runs like Conan in Pale Force.
And of course she gets herself captured and put right back on. During all this, Spock showed an impressive bit of logic in understanding the Kzinti culture and the blocks in their species thinking by telling them that they will dismiss Uhura as a female because Kzinti females are apparently non-sapient beasts, which is a weird thing I've never heard of in science fiction, that half of your species aren't even sapient.
There are a lot of species that have a high sexual dimorphism, but I've never heard of one that's that extreme, that you would have one gender be sapient and the other not. That also makes the idea of all of their relationships really, really creepy.
Yes, it does. And of course, Uhura, being irrational for some reason, even though she's usually one of the more rational people, takes offense at this as if Spock was suggesting that Uhura was a beast.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Lieutenant, I value your intelligence, but we may be able to seize an opportunity to escape if the Kzinti believe you have none.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's trying to get you out of a bad situation. They also inherently distrust herbivores, and Vulcans are famous for being vegetarian and pacifist. So apparently they don't like going to their minds, so the telepath they bring in to scan people will only scan Sulu. because women are just bestial and not worth reading, and vegetarians are ugly to listen to.
So, of course, Spock advises Sulu to think about delicious, crunchy vegetables to put the telepath off being in his brain.
Because nothing says Star Trek more like using the technique against your enemy, the same technique that Mario uses against Wart. When they find out one of the modes on this weapon is an energy dampener, they forget to account that it blocks the energy on the police web, which was holding our crew down. And so they manage to escape. But they again capture Uhura because for a skilled runner she claims to be, oh my gosh. In the chaos, Spock manages to grab the weapon, and so he and Sulu are testing it out, and figuring out some ways to use the null setting to change it to a different mode altogether. They figure out that there's another level of modes. One of these weapons... Okay, that one's actually, a bad setting. We want to make sure the Kzinti don't get a hold of this. However, the Kzinti appear, threatening that they will trade Uhura for the weapon.
And the reason they're not calling for backup is yet another clever insight of Spock's into their culture.
Why? Because I kicked Shuft Captain. Consider, Shuft Captain has been attacked by an herbivorous pacifist, an eater of leaves and roots, one who traditionally does not fight. And the ultimate insult, I left him alive. Shuft Captain's honor is at stake. He must seek personal revenge before he can call for help.
Again, Spock knows these aliens and knows how to use their species thinking against them. I really wish Star Trek would do this more often, and this is well written.
Get the dirt!
And the Kzinti discover that this thing apparently has Siri installed.
How long has it been since you were turned off? I do not know.
But Siri is extremely unhelpful in this case.
Without certain code words, I may not describe our location. One of the settings on this weapon was a total conversion beam. We saw it. Tell us how to find it. Twist my winter shins until you reach the null position.
Wait. You're seriously telling me that your see how old I am based on how the stars have moved feature is password locked, but the Nuke the Planet app is not password locked? Oh, you were doing so... Wait,
They're
what?
not about to get it, Lieutenant. Assume you are a slaver war computer. They ask you so many questions, it is obvious they know little about you. Your owner is nowhere about. What would you think?
I think I'd been captured by the enemy. Or an enemy at least.
And when they asked you how to find your most powerful weapon setting, what would you give them?
Oh, you got me, episode. I thought you were writing bad, but you were actually writing very clever. Well done. And yes, the Kzinti blow themselves up with self-destruct mode, and off we go after Uhura makes a really, really stupid non-joke.
Didn't you say the Kzinti have legends of weapons haunted by their dead owners?
Yes. An ancient superstition.
At this rate, they'll never get over those old superstitions.
Yeah, it's not one to go out on, but the episode as a whole is pretty good.